Hello everyone. Good morning to all of you. I think I am clearly audible and visible to you all. Yes, the sound and everything is okay. So let us start today's class. Okay. So आज के इस क्लास में हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं यूनिट नंबर 3. We have already studied unit first and unit second of this chapter. Okay. जिसमें हमने स्टार्टिंग में देखा कि कैसे नेशनलिज्म जो है वो इमर्ज हुआ फ्रॉम फ्रांस टू द होल ऑफ द यूरोप. उसके बाद हमने यूरोप में कैसे इंटीग्रेशन की प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हुई उसको देखा सेकेंड यूनिट में. नाउ इन दिस यूनिट वी आर गोइंग टू सी दैट हाउ द nationalism will be shown through the images, songs, poems, etc. अब हम लोग इस वाले यूनिट में क्या पढ़ेंगे कि नेशनलिज्म को कैसे पिक्चर्स के थ्रू, सॉन्ग्स के थ्रू, पोएम्स के थ्रू शो किया जाता था. जब हम नेशनलिज्म को एसोसिएट करते हैं, नेशनलिज्म को दिखाते हैं किसी कल्चर के फॉर्म में, लाइक इमेजेस के फॉर्म में, सॉन्ग्स के फॉर्म में, पोएम्स के फॉर्म में, तो इसको हम कहते हैं रोमांटिसिज्म. इट इज कॉल्ड रोमांटिसिज्म, or you can also call it as romantic nationalism, romantic nationalism or imagination. ओके. तो जब हम लोग अपने नेशनलिज्म को, अपनी देशभक्ति को, द लव फॉर योर कंट्री, द लव फॉर योर कंट्री, जब आप अपने नेशनलिज्म को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं थ्रू इमेजेस, सॉन्ग्स, पोएम्स और एनी अदर फॉर्म्स ऑफ योर कल्चर, देन इट इज कॉल्ड रोमांटिसिज्म और रोमांटिक नेशनलिज्म और इमेजिनेशन. ओके. तो अभी हम लोगों ने लास्ट क्लास में क्या पढ़ा था, इसके सेकेंड यूनिट में वी हैव स्टडीड दैट बैटल ऑफ वाटरलू, battle of waterloo battle of waterloo resulted in the conservative regime. हमने पढ़ा था बैटल ऑफ वाटरलू के वजह से कंजर्वेटिव रिजाइम स्टैब्लिश हुआ, यानी कि कंजर्वेटिव्स लोगों का रूल स्टार्ट हो गया. बैटल ऑफ वाटरलू में क्या हुआ था, नेपोलियन हार गया था. नेपोलियन वाज डिफीटेड, है ना. नेपोलियन हार गया था. उसके बाद से एक ट्रीटी होती है जिसका नाम है ट्रीटी ऑफ वियना. ट्रीटी ऑफ वियना. इस ट्रीटी के थ्रू फ्रांस का टेरिटोरियल फ्रांस का टेरिटोरियल एक्सपेंशन रोका जाता है. इसके आसपास जो भी टेरिटरी नेपोलियन ने अनेक्स किया था उसको जो कंजर्वेटिव पावर्स हैं वो लोग आपस में डिवाइड कर लेते हैं. ठीक है. तो इतनी सारी चीजें इस ट्रीटी ऑफ वियना में हमने पढ़ा था. ट्रीटी ऑफ वियना को होस्ट कौन कर रहे थे, तो इसको होस्ट कर रहे थे ऑस्ट्रियन चांसलर ड्यूक मेटरनिक. ऑस्ट्रियन चांसलर, क्या नाम है इनका, ड्यूक मेटरनिक. जिन पावर्स ने मिलकर नेपोलियन को हराया था उसमें चार इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर थे, रशिया, ब्रिटेन, प्रोशिया एंड ऑस्ट्रिया. और उस ट्रीटी को भी कौन हेड कर रहा था, ऑस्ट्रिया. ऑस्ट्रिया एक जर्मन स्पीकिंग एरिया है. ठीक है. सो ये सारे चीजें हमने लास्ट वीडियो में पढ़ी थी, अब वहीं से हमें कंटिन्यू करना है। इन सारे लिंक्स के थ्रू अब हमें आगे बढ़ना है, ठीक है। सो what is saying here is that as conservative regimes means the time period of the ruling of the conservatives tried to consolidate their power. It means that they were being unified, they were unifying themselves, they were gaining support for their cause. Liberalism and nationalism came to be increasingly associated with revolution in many regions of Europe. Now, on the one hand, the conservatives were trying to become powerful, and on the other hand, to spread the idea of liberalism and nationalism, revolutionaries was doing revolution in different parts of Europe. They were fighting for their spreading of the idea of liberalism and nationalism. They were having revolutions in different parts of Europe. Like they were having revolution in Italy, Italian speaking areas, German states, then Ottoman Empire provinces, Ireland and Poland. So these were the areas where the revolutionaries was doing armed conflict, armed revolution to spread their ideas of liberalism and nationalism. Since this these revolutions was to spread the idea of liberalism and nationalism, so the leader of these revolutions were called liberal nationalists. Why they were called liberal nationalists? Because they want to spread they want to spread the idea of liberalism and nationalism. And who were the people? They were educated middle class elite. Here the people was belonging from the elite class. It means that they were very rich. They were very rich, not like the lower class of people, uneducated people. No, those people were educated and elite people. As I have already talked about Jacobian Club. So Jacobian Club, the member of the Jacobian Club was also educated middle class elite. So these were the people who gain education, and they know the importance of liberalism, the importance of nationalism. So these ideas of liberalism, nationalism was very popular among the educated middle class elite. Okay. And who were the educated middle class elite? They were professors, they were school teachers, clerks, and members of commercial middle class. Commercial middle class means those who were doing trade and commerce. Okay. So these were the people who want to liberate the economy, who want to liberate their nation, who want to unify their people through the idea of nationalism. Okay, now as you know that every revolution starts from the France, so this revolution will also start from the France. So the first upheaval, the first revolution against these conservative powers took place in France. Same as were the French Revolution happened in July. This revolution is also was also happened in July in 1830. Okay, Battle of Waterloo was occurred in 1815. After that, conservative regimes, and in 1830, the first revolution to restore restore the republic rule, means the rule of public, means the idea of liberalism and nationalism was took place in 1830 in France. Okay, as you recall, as you remember that after the battle of Waterloo, after the treaty of Vienna that occurred in 1815, after the defeat of Napoleon, the Bourbon king was restored to power in France by these conservative powers. Okay. Now when there was a revolution in France in July 1830, that Bourbon king was overthrown. It means that he was replaced with another king. He was being dismissed by the people, by the revolutionaries, and a new king, Louis Philippe, Louis Philippe, was installed in the place of Bourbon king that was restored after the Treaty of Vienna. So a new king was installed, Louis Philippe, and there was mandatory to hold a constitution. It means that now this monarch who has been installed in the place of that Bourbon king will be under the control of a constitution, and this constitution will be will be prepared by, made by the people of France. Okay, so due to all these things, Duke Metternich has said that when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. So there was a time when Duke Metternich said that when France sneezes, it means that when something happens in France, the effect of that thing spreads to the whole of the Europe. Okay, like you can see in the French Revolution, when the French Revolution happened in France, the effect, the things, the consequences that occurred in France after the July Revolution, after the French Revolution, that those all the things and consequences soon spread to whole of the Europe. Okay, once again, this event has happened in France, this July 1830 event. Now, the consequence of this event will also spread to the whole of the Europe. So, it happens that when July Revolution happened in the France, this spark an uprising in Brussels also. Brazil, as you know, Brazil is the capital of Belgium. Brazil is the capital of Belgium. Okay, and Belgium, after the Treaty of Vienna, was the part of Netherlands. After the Treaty of Vienna, after the Treaty of Vienna, Belgium was given to Netherlands. Now, Belgium, since Netherlands has different culture, Belgium has different culture, so there was cultural conflict among the people of Belgium and Netherlands. Why it was so? Because Belgium was earlier part of France due to Napoleon. But when the Napoleon was defeated, then this part of territory, this Belgium, was given under the Netherlands. Now Netherlands want to impose their culture on the Belgian people. So Belgian people was in the resistance against these Netherland people. And when they took an opportunity, they saw that this is an opportunity for us. Since there is a revolution in the France, now we also have an opportunity to take control of our government, to be independent from the Netherlands. And therefore, the Belgium, the Belgian people want freedom from the Netherlands. So when the revolution took place in France, the Brazil's people also start to revolt against the Netherland people, the kingdom of Netherlands, okay, and want their independence. An event that mobilized nationalist feeling among the educated elite across Europe was the Greek War of Independence. Now there was an event, what happened earlier, that there was a Muslim empire which is which was Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire conquered Greece. Since Ottoman Empire was a Muslim dominated empire, they imposed their culture on the people of Greece, due to which the people of Greece was unhappy. They want to be free from this Ottoman Empire to preserve their culture. Now what happens, that when they saw that France having a revolution for their nationalism, liberalism, independence, Belgium also having their revolution. So now it's our time to be independent from the Ottoman Empire. Therefore, the people of Greece started to revolt against the Ottoman Empire. Okay. Now, this is known as the Greek War of Independence. They want to be independent from the Ottoman Empire. Why? Because Ottoman Empire was a Muslim empire and Ottoman Empire had conquered the Greece and wants to impose their culture, their Muslim culture to the people of the Greece, and Greece was against this. So the people of the Greece wants to be independent from the influence of the Ottoman Empire. So they also sparked a revolution in 1821, and they got support from the people who were living in exile and also from many West European powers who also wanted to liberalize, who wanted to make the Greece independent from the Ottoman Empire. Now, various poets, artists, and lots of people lauded Greece as the cradle of European civilization. It means that people like poets and artists thought that Greece is the only place from where the Europe began to flourish. Okay, that's why they called Greece as the cradle of European civilization. It means that the civilization of Europe was started from this country, Greece, and through doing all these things, they mobilized public opinion. It means that they mobilized the support to its struggle against a Muslim empire. The main factor, the main factor, or the main thing that is required to carry out a revolution is a large base of support. If you are having a larger base of support, your revolution will be a successful revolution. But if you do not have a larger base of support, you have a bunch of people with you, then your revolution cannot be a successful revolution. So here, using poems and various things, the poets and artists mobilized supports, okay, for their struggle against this Ottoman Empire. So there was an English poet whose name was Lord Byron. So this Lord Byron was organizing fund. Okay, he wants to liberalize the people of Greece. So he started to collecting funds and wants to go to the war against the Ottoman Empire. But the tragedy happens there was that this Lord Byron, while going to fight against the Ottoman Empire, was having fever and he was dead there. Okay, he died there due to the fever. So he organized funds, wanted to go to the war. He was in the way, but what happened there? He died due to fever in 1824. And as you have read that the revolution, the struggle was started in 1821, and in 1824 this English poet died of due to the fever. Finally, in 1832, the hard work of the people of Greece paid off, and through the Treaty of Constantinople, Greece was recognized as an independent nation. So here we read three different stories. First from France, another from Belgium, and the last one about the Greece. France was under the control of conservatives. Belgium was under the control of Netherlands. Greece was under the control of Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire. Let me make it clear. I will write Bourbon dynasty instead of conservative. So France was under the control of Bourbon dynasty. Okay. France revolted against Bourbon dynasty. Belgium revolted against Netherlands. Greece revolted against Ottoman Empire. Okay. So these three events happened after after the French Revolution, after the French Revolution of 1830. Okay, that's why Duke Metternich remarked that when France sneezes, the rest of the Europe catches cold. Why? You have seen the reason. There was a revolution in France. Subsequent revolution took place in Belgium and Greece also. So therefore, I think now you understand why this remark was made by Metternich, that when France sneezes, the rest of the Europe catches cold. Now let us continue with the topic 3.1, the romantic imagination and the national feeling. I hope you guys are enjoying the lecture, and if you are enjoying the lecture, kindly like and share the lecture with your friends so that they also come to the class. Okay, the stream is fine, everything is going well. Okay, so let us continue with our topic 3.1. Try to watch the whole video. If you are watching some part of the video and after that you are leaving the video, then nothing will go into your mind. So try to watch the whole video so that all the sequence will come to your mind. You will understand the topic very clearly. Okay, so let's start topic 3.1, the romantic imagination and the national feeling. The development of nationalism did not come about only through wars and territorial expansion. It means that nationalism is not only associated with wars and territorial expansion, as we have read that Napoleon wants to expand his territory. Okay, people of Belgium and Greece were having wars for their independence, for their nationalism. But it is not always the same. The nationalism is not always associated with wars and territorial expansion. Rather, culture also played an important role in creating the idea of the nation. Like if you want to make your people believe in a nation, believe in the idea of nationalism, like we have seen in the France, what were the things happen in France? We have seen like they adopted a flag, they composed hymns, they centralized the administration, and lots of things they have done to spread their idea of nationalism. Okay, so what happened here, that the idea of the nationalism was spread through the art and poetry, and also through stories, music, And all these things have contributed to the spread or development of nationalism. All right. So through these expressions, nationalism was spread. Let us look at romanticism. Now, this question can be asked in your examination, that what is romanticism? So clearly listen it, and if you want to make your own notes, you can make your own notes, or you can write these things that I am writing here. Okay. Now, from here, this is a very important topic for your examination, that what is romanticism? What is romanticism? Romanticism is a cultural movement. Cultural movement. Culture means art, poetry, poetry, stories, music, etc. Okay, so these all are part of culture. Culture. So it is a cultural movement which sought to develop a particular form of nationalist sentiment. Okay, sentiment, that is feeling for your nation. What kind of feeling it is? It is a feeling that we belong to one nation. Okay, so this feeling was being developed through the culture, and this development of nationalism by using the culture, through culture, is known as romanticism. So romantic artists means those artists, and romantic poets means those poets who want to flourish, who want to develop, spread the idea of nationalism through art, poetry, stories, and music, etc. They are romantic artists and poets. Okay, they criticized the glorification of reason and science. Generally, they were against the glorification of reason and science, like lots of people want to associate the things with the science, with the reason means logic, that if something has happened to you, there is something, there is a science behind that thing, or there is some logic behind that thing. If you want to spread nationalism, there should be a logic, there should be a reason to spread the nationalism. If you want to spread your nationalism, there should be any science behind it, that why are you spreading your nationalism. Okay, so these things, reason and science, these things were being criticized by the romantic artist. Romantic artist mainly focused on emotions, intuition, what my internal feelings are saying, that is intuition. And mystical feelings, mystical feelings means, oh god is doing this, god has done that. Okay, that is mystical feelings. So romantic artist mainly focused on emotions, intuitions. Intuition means your internal feeling, that what is your internal feeling saying to you. Then mystical feeling means supernatural powers, etc. Okay, so romantic artists mainly focused on these things to spread their idea of nationalism. Through this, they created a sense of collective heritage, that whatever heritage we have, heritage means those all things that are provided to us by our forefathers, by our ancestors, those things are called heritage. So through the efforts of these romantic artists, there was a sense of shared collective heritage created. with a common cultural past, like people were being attached, were being united by saying that you all were having a common cultural past as the basis of nation, and through all these things they were doing to create the idea of nationalism in the minds of the people. Okay, I hope you are getting my point here. So romantic artists, through the using of emotions, intuitions, mystical feelings, they started to create poems and various lots of designs and etc. to spread the idea of nationalism and liberalism by their ideas, by their poems, by their images, paintings, like this one image you can see here. This one image, this one image is showing that how Ottoman Turks, Ottoman Turks has uh, harassed the people. Okay, this is a picture of massacre. It means that large number of killings. Okay, approximately 20,000 Greeks, 20,000 Greeks have been killed by Turks, Ottoman Empire, Turks. Okay, so through these kind of paintings, where you can see the problem of the people here, the misery of the people, through all these things, poems, visual arts, etc., these romantic artists, these romantic artists created a sense of collective belonging, that we all have experienced the same cruelty of the people, of the ruler. Therefore, we all will, good morning, Uddhav Gaur, hello Ankush. Therefore, we should start to revolt against these rulers. Okay, so through their ideas, through their pictures, etc., they started to spread their ideas of nationalism. Okay, other romantics were also there, like a German philosopher Johann Gottfried Herder claimed that true German culture. So there was a fight of culture when these romantic artists, this romanticism spread to the Europe. So there was a war of culture. People want to assert their culture. They want to make themselves independent so that they can preserve their culture. Their culture was being destroyed by the rulers, by the colonial rulers. So they wanted to make themselves independent so that they can preserve their culture. So Johann Gottfried Herder claimed claimed that true German culture was to be discovered among the common people, that is Das Volk. Das Volk is a term in the German language that was used for the common people. Das common people Volk. So Johann Gottfried was finding out the culture, German culture, among the people, among the common people, and he said we can find our German culture uh, from our folk songs, from our folk poetry, from our folk dances. Why the word folk is being used here? Folk means traditional. Folk means traditional. So folk song means traditional song. Folk poetry means traditional poetry. Folk dances mean traditional dances. So tradition means the things that was being performed by our parents, by our forefathers. Okay. So that thing is being called here as folk. So folk songs, folk poetry, folk dances, through these things, we will get to know our true German culture. This was the statement of Johann Gottfried Herder. I hope you are getting my point. And by doing all these things, we can find the true spirit of the nation. nation, that is Volksgeist. So Volksgeist was being popularized. Volksgeist, German term for the spirit of the nation, that is nationalism. So Volksgeist means nationalism was being popularized through the German culture by Johann Gottfried Herder. By collecting and recording all this folk culture, we can start to project our nation. Okay, so to unify the people, to make our German state a united state, we should focus on our folk culture, our traditional song, traditional poetry, traditional dances, that all the things were provided by our parents to us. Now these things will unify all the German people together. Okay, so as you know that earlier our parents, forefathers used to talk to each other by using local languages. Local language means vernacular language. So all the folks, songs, folk poetry, etc. was there in their vernacular language. And after collecting all the folklore, the lost ancient national spirit was now recovered. Okay, so the modern nationalism was being spread to the large number of people by using vernacular language, by using folk songs, folk dances, folk poetry. Getting my point? So when you are going to communicate with your friend or any other people in their common language, you can easily pursue them. You can easily convince them. This thing was being used in Germany by the romantic people, romantic artists and poets. They were using local language so that lots of people can be easily convinced to having a revolution for the cause of nationalism. Okay, now especially it was a case of Poland, which had been partitioned at the end of 18th century by the great powers, like when there was Treaty of Vienna, Treaty of Vienna in 1815. So after the Treaty of Vienna, this Poland was given to the Russia. Okay, this Poland was given to Russia, and now let us start the case of Poland. Poland was being partitioned, okay, by the great powers like Russia, Prussia, and Austria, who collectively defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. Now Poland was no longer having status of independent territory. Why? Because Poland was given to Russia. Now Russia wanted to impose their culture on Poland. By doing this, Russia wants to integrate Poland under themselves. People of Poland wanted to be independent from the Russia to preserve their culture, to preserve their identity, that we are the Polish people. We are not the Russian people. We are Polish people. So we want to preserve our culture. We do not want your Russian culture. So the people of Poland wanted to be independent. Their nationalist feeling was alive through music and language, because all other things were being captured by the Russia. Their schools, their normal life, daily life was being captured by the Russian culture, but they still kept their nationalist feeling alive through music and language. For example, there was a person, Karol Krupinski. There was a person, Karol Krupinski. Karol Korpinski celebrated the national struggle through his operas, music, turning folk dances like polonaise and mazurka into nationalist symbols. So we are talking about the romanticism. Romanticism means showing nationalism, developing nationalism through culture. Here, Karol Krupinski, who belongs to the Poland, uses his operas, music, the folk dance means traditional dance, which was Polonaise and Mazurka, dance form Polonaise and Mazurka. These things Karol Krupinski has used so that the people can get united by the feeling of common culture. This nationalism can be spread to the people of Poland through the common culture. Okay, and for that he had used operas, music, and dances like Polonaise and Mazurka. So these were the dance forms. Okay, I hope you are getting my point, and if you are having any kind of problem in understanding these topics, kindly comment. Okay, now language. Let us talk about language. We have seen that Polish people, the resident, the people of Poland, known as Polish people have kept their nationalist feeling alive through music and culture. So music, dance were used by Karol Koropinski to symbolize the nationalist feeling. Now let us talk about language. Karol Koropinski was from Poland. He was from Poland. That's why he was using operas and music and folk dances to create the nationalist feeling among the Polish people. Okay. Now let us talk about language. After Russian occupation, as I have told you that the Poland was given to Russia after the Treaty of Vienna. Now Russia occupied the whole Poland by using their culture, by using their identity, by using their identity, they imposed and captured everything of Poland. Now Polish people was forced out of schools. Russian language was imposed everywhere. So there was no any education for the Polish people. Polish people cannot study in the schools, and if they want to study, they have to study in the Russian language. They have to study Russian textbooks. They cannot read their own textbook. They cannot be taught in their own language. This was the problem. Polish culture was being destroyed by this Russian occupation. Now, it was the time of 1831. As you remember, there was a revolution in France in July 1830. After that, Belgium and Greece. And now, here we are looking at Poland. In 1831, a rebellion occurred against the Russian rule. Okay, but it was being crushed. It was ultimately crushed by the Russian people. Russian authority, the ruler of the Russia, crushed this armed rebellion. Armed rebellion means revolution. Always remember it. Revolution means armed rebellion. You are fighting with weapons. Okay. After this armed rebellion, which was ultimately crushed by the Russia authority, many members of the clergy in Poland, clergy means people belonging to church. People belonging to church. So many members of the clergy in Poland began to use language as a weapon of national resistance. You know that Russian authority had imposed their language in the schools of Poland. So language here in the Poland was the main thing that can create a sense of unity among the people of Poland. They can be taught, but in the Russian language. Why? Poland is their country, so language should be there. There should be Polish language. Then why the children of Polish people would be taught in Russian language? So through these kind of statements, by using language as a basis, the clergy people in Poland started to gain support for the nationalism, for the resistance against the Russian authority. So Polish language was used for church gatherings and all religious instructions. As a result, large number of priests, that is father of the church, etc., and bishops were put in jail or sent to Siberia by Russian authorities. As I have already told you, that Russian authorities was basically trying to impose their culture on the people of Poland, and the Polish people was trying to be independent from the influence of Russian authorities. When they started to do resistance against the Russian authority and used their Polish language as a medium of instruction in the churches and other places, Russian authorities captured, arrested those priests, bishops, and put them in the jail or sent them to Siberia. It means that if you will revolt against the Russian authority, you will be jailed or you will be sent to the Siberia. Okay, if you want to preach your religion, you should preach in Russian language and not in Polish language. And if you will preach in Polish language, you will be sent to jail or will be sent to Siberia. Siberia is a very cold place. Okay, so this was a punishment. Therefore, the Polish language became a symbol of the struggle against the Russian dominance. Okay, so this was the story of Poland. I hope this point is also clear to you all. So what we have seen till here, we have seen French Revolution, we have seen Belgium Revolution, we have seen Greece Revolution, we have seen last one Poland Revolution. Okay, so these things we have seen, and all these things were connected by the idea of nationalism. This nationalism was being spread by using culture as a basis through the romantic people, and this thing is was known as romanticism. All right, uh, from topic 3.2 we will cover this topic in the next video. Okay, so I think very less topic 3.2, 3.3, and I guess there is 3.4 also. No, only two topics are left today, topic 3.2 and 3.3. These topics will be covered in the next topic. Okay, that's all, and thank you for watching the video, and kindly like the video and share this video with your friends so that they can also understand the concept easily. Thank you so much. and goodbye. Yes, Uddhav Gaur, I will continue this video, but those two topics will be covered in the next class.